Okay, we're back. Today we're going to build metrics. Now I should have strictly done this before building visualizations because I believe metrics can be used when building visualizations, and it allows you to define something at the semantic level, and that's essentially the step I missed out. So I went straight to building visualizations rather than defining metrics that we're going to use in our visualizations and later on as well. So let me head to the Tableau Tim workspace, and once we're here you'll see the visualizations I built yesterday here. We need to go back to the Superstore data model, and in here there's an option there, select new, select metric, and we have it. Now there's a little bit of a rant I have to get out of the way. Metrics used to be a feature available in Tableau. They were deprecated when Tableau Pulse was launched, because Tableau Pulse was supposed to supersede Tableau metrics. Tableau Pulse is a very good feature, has just about reached this sort of level of general awareness inside of the Tableau community, but then Salesforce in its wisdom decides to take all the best things out of Tableau Pulse, a thing you know and understand, and put it into a new capability in Tableau Next called, drumroll, metrics. So we're back to square one. So this is super confusing. So I passionately hate the fact that these are called metrics when there's an identical looking product that functions better called Tableau Pulse. Just why? Just call it Tableau Pulse metrics everywhere. Full stop. Anyway, rant over. Breathe. We're going to create a metric. We're going to call it profit. We're going to call it profit, and what we are going to do is also put the description and call this profit as well. Hit next. Once we've defined that, we can go and get our measure. It's very similar to Tableau Prep. We can actually filter this here. So if you wanted to say, hey, I want this profit to only be linked to this one metric or one dimension, you could go ahead and filter it. You could also remove maybe something that's not meant to be part of that measure. That's quite useful. Let's say that you want to measure return on investment, but return on investment can't include transactions from a certain dimensional attribute. This would be a good way to sort of solve that. So we're not going to do that here today. I will say one thing. This is kind of broken. So when you select, say, city as a filter here, it doesn't show you the list of possible subjects. So you could type something in here like elephant that might never match a piece of your data, but there's no sort of like failsafe. That doesn't seem right. You should only be able to select things that I think sit in the column. So that's a little bit of product feedback, but you have operators you can use, and you can sort of exclude things as well. So it's actually quite good that you've got that capability, but I just wish you could see your data whilst building these metrics. Otherwise you have to have a notepad somewhere and have taken it down. But anyway, you can do more advanced setups. So you can set up sentiment, aggregation, the type of aggregation, but we don't need to do any of that. This is just going to be a simple metric. The time dimension will be order date. And now that we've done that, we get a number. Now it's not doing any comparisons just yet because I don't believe we have set up any comparisons. So let's go to the next step where we can add dimensions that the user can filter against. So we can pretty much go to town, give the user all the flexibility to filter the dimensional things they probably might want to. So category, I'm just going to do the most logical ones. Subcategories are good. Last one, state and province. That looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to hit next. Now that we've done that, we've got all of those dimensions added, listed. You see that this list is actually sort of lengthened. So record level detail. So the record ID in this particular case, strictly speaking, oh gosh, what level of detail is order ID on? It's actually at the product level because it's about products in a basket. So that is actually, in my opinion, the right answer. So the record level details are there. The fields, oh, this is interesting. Your metric starts with these recommended insights. I don't actually understand this, but there's a nice little information icon I should click on. So choose the field to use as the display name for each record, such as the customer name. This is weird because now I feel like I should have chosen the product ID. Choose a field that contains a unique system identifier for each record, such as custom ID. I think this is right. It would be nice if you could choose like a couple of fields, because it might be that it's order and product. So I'd like to generate an order and product key. Again, I could go create the calculated field at the point of ingestion and bring that in, but I don't have that. Records level data. So Enable this to drill down and take action on individual records. If disabled, these actions are not available. Let's switch it on. Trends and changes. Record level outliers. Defined records unusually high. Yes. Current trend. Yes. Contribution breakdowns. Yes. So these are all the different types of analysis it can do. A singular unit is, well, it's the same. So it's profit. So you're just telling it what to call it, and it should also be called profit there again. Just do a capital P. Hit next. Then let's look at insights. Oh no, that's it. We didn't even give it a comparison. But there it is. There's our profit metric. So we've got time dimension, additional dimensions filtering, and we've got a description. Now when we click on it, we can go back and change any one of these. It's kind of remembered all the settings as it should. So that's pretty much it. So, this is interesting. So earlier on when I clicked on these dimensions, it went to this tab, but I didn't actually recognize that it'd gone to that tab. So that was my apologies. These are the insight dimensions that it's going to use. We've chosen that. Okay. The thing I can't see here is how do I compare it to the previous, whatever. It doesn't really say. So I'm not getting a line chart because there's no comparison data. It might just be there's no data yet, actually real data, because I didn't do a smart job with this data set and pin it to today's date. I actually have a Tableau prep flow that does this for me in my Tableau cloud instance. So maybe I should export that for this upcoming year so that I've got a good sample superstore example. So that's profit. It's done. We can go ahead and create more. I don't think I need to show you that. Another thing you can do here is create a parameter. It's weird that this is done at semantic level. I would do this at the visualization layer, but it's good that it's allowed to persist here at the semantic level because it then affects everything that uses that semantic model. So it makes a ton of sense. Logical view is one of those sort of combined tables that we had. So joins and unions happen at this sort of logical view, and data objects are just more data sources. So we've already gone pretty much to this full gamut of items. But if I go to my Tableau TN workspace and we look at this list, we don't see metric here. So this is what I was wondering. Why do we not see a metric in this list? You would expect it to be a child of one of these or some sort of component, but it's just sitting there in Superstore data model and ready to be used. Okay, so metrics are pretty simple. You can kind of push these a little bit harder by building sort of more nuanced settings, but it's very similar to Tableau Pulse. There's really not much more to say other than that. So one thing I want to check, if I go back to my home page, and you see the metric just doesn't seem to appear anywhere. It's like I never created it. If I just refresh the page, just in case it's something to do with cache, and I'm seeing, here we go. It was something to do with cache. I'm glad I did that. So now I can see the metric there. If I go to the Tableau TIM space, do we see a metric here? Do we see a metric here? No. Let's go ahead and refresh this. See if this is also suffering from caching issues. No, I cannot see that. Let's see if I can search all owners. So cool. Let's just search profit. You see it has dashboard, visualization, semantic models, data objects, but no metrics. You can not really see them. Okay, so maybe this is just not available yet. But yeah, it's there. Trust me. Trust me, bro. Okay, cool. So we've built a metric. To see this metric, I think the easiest way I'm going to do this is go and build a dashboard. So we can start with that, and then we'll end the video having just basically build the metric. So go to add new dashboard, and then the first thing we're going to add to this page is the metric. Now, this is the dashboarding view, and it's probably worth just explaining a bit of context around this. But you know, on reflection, no, this should be a whole separate video because I think the dashboarding experience is super important. So tune in tomorrow to see that. I will just genuinely go and see if I can add a metric. So what I did there is added a page. You can see add multiple pages. They essentially become tabs in your report. Makes a lot of sense. I don't need too many of these. How do I add a metric? This is one of those weird things where if I go to the content, there's nothing here. So if I go to, oh, here we go. So you have these icons here at the top. and they specifically call out the things you've built. So if I click on that and then I drop it in, so what I do is I create the space, then I go add the thing. Let's choose the dot matrix, select it, and then that's what adds the asset on. So I built it somewhere else, that's what adds it on. So to add the metric, I should be able to click on this. It gives me an identifier, I put it down, I select add metric. It asks me which semantic model to get it from, good choice. Select, there's my profit metric, select, boom. There's my metric, and I can style this up and set it up however I want. I should really probably add something a little bit more descriptive that shows off this capability, because this has loaded nothing basically, and the data stop has stopped in July 23rd. So we need to go and get something a little bit better. But long story short, there's my metric, and you can see that it's actually got quite a lot of descriptive information about the metric over here on the right hand side. So there's our first dashboard. This was very brief. It's very straightforward. It's basically Tableau Pulse, but not as well polished as Tableau Pulse. Tomorrow, join in and we will start going with the visualization experience. Okay, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.